And you, given to some dark-eyed beauty by our one true love. A red, red rose, a fragrant accoutrement of love. For you, a vase of thin crystal, and you would have stood tall and straight and vital. At home anywhere. A peasant's table, a scholar's desk, a king's virginal. Once upon a time, it might have been. But you came too late. No one wants you now. Once upon a time, the world would tolerate a rose. So, it's time. Is the world such a different place?
It's the season, Snow. Autumn, roses die.
Philip told me once of a beautiful white rose, perfect year-round, as white as snow. Have you seen it?
White rose? No.
No one has.
Come with me, Snow. It's time.
Is Philip here?
We need to say goodbye.
She is coming? Yes.
They will be here.
Her Majesty understands the decorum of punctuality. Her charge, on the other hand, lives in some time-free dimension where punctuality is an 11-letter conundrum.
There's no cause to raise your voice.
What, you're afraid I'll wake him up?
Ella!
I wasn't yelling. If we don't start this thing, we'll never finish.
But show poor taste, don't you think? To start the funeral without the widow present?
You have a corpse on our table. Do not talk to me of taste.
Patience.
Anybody know a good story? I didn't think so. Snow! So glad you could make it. How are the roses doing? Ella?
Shall we begin? The tale of Prince Philip has ended. Sturdy warrior, chivalrous prince, beloved husband. He has enriched the pages of our story and has come to the final page of his. His was a denouement worthy of a prince, fallen in battle with weapon in hand. His cause was just, his enemy grim, his bravery commensurate with the hour of testing. He died defending us, fellow characters, and Philip's cause must not fail. It is for us who still have pages to turn, if the storyteller so will. It is for us to ensure that the forces of evil no longer hold sway, that justice and peace prevail, and that the words happily ever after would once again find their proper place at the end of tales still untold.
They shall call all the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there. And all our princes shall be nothing, and thorns shall grow up in our palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortress thereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons.
William, the benediction.
From page to page, from green to gold, we spend our years as a tale that is told. Blessed be the name of the storyteller.
Blessed be the storyteller.
Blessed be the storyteller.
Blessed be the storyteller.
Amen.
They shall call all the nobles, but none shall be there.
Gretel, go tell Hedda we won't eat for another hour or so.
Yes, Your Majesty.
You felt no obligation to participate in Philip's funeral.
Why? He's not going to participate in mine. Probably won't even attend.
Look at Snow up there. You could help her. You've been through this.
I have not been through that. When my husband took the role of tragic hero, I accepted the fact and turned the page. I did not haunt the garden discussing matters with the flora.
Talk to her. Help her.
She's too busy whispering sweet nothings to her roses.
Philip should be here soon. How do I look?
Like a lady in waiting. Who is it that's coming?
Philip. He's late.
Oh, busy slaying the odd ogre or two, no doubt.
Yes, that must be it.
He told me he was going to be late before he left.
Ella, don't.
You saw him?
He said he had 3 ogres to take care of, and 1 ogress.
Why do you lie to her?
He never said goodbye.
He said, tell Snow to wait, because I would wait for her.
You stop this right now. Snow, she's lying. She didn't talk to him.
I'll wait. He'd expect me to wait.
Why are you doing this? You told me to talk to her. I'm making conversation.
You are compounding an already difficult situation.
I help it to bring her back to reality.
You can help bring her back.
I'm not the problem here, and I'm not the solution.
Cinderella.
Look, you may be queen of this castle. You may be able to boss Hedda around and Gretel and Snow White as long as her head rattles, but I am my own queen. The shoe fit me, remember? And I don't appreciate being treated like a scullery maid. No thanks.
Ella, you're an honoured guest in this castle as long as you need sanctuary.
Blandishments don't help.
I mean what I say, but remember, you're not the only guest. Snow White belongs here too.
You hold the brush like that and you sweep this way.
Take no notice of her, Hedda. The past few pages have been difficult for her.
Oh, nae harm done, Your Majesty.
Does your hand hurt? A little. Old scars.
Here he comes.
Oh, Snow, Philip's not coming.
He's right outside. I'll go let him.
Hansel! Where are you? Gretel, get away from the wind! Hansel! Hansel! Snow! Can I have some help here? Snow! Let go of me! Philip's out there! Gretel! Gretel! My goodness, Gretel! Gretel! Head out of the water! He's gone! You wouldn't let him in! No, you need to calm down. What's the matter with you? Why can you let him in? Stop it, you fool! God help me, Ella! And Snow White is...
Thank you. Oh, she's awfully still. She's unconscious, thankfully. Oh, the pair must have had a face right in the windy. This won't stop the blistering, but I don't know what else to do.
Brian, is anyone hurt?
Gretel, she's burned.
Gretel! Oh, Gretel. I never should have left her. Anyone else?
Just Gretel.
Gretel, I'm sorry.
It's no one's fault, Hans.
I hadn't have left her!
We need to get her to her room. William! I'll come apply a dressing.
It's a dragon burn. Dragon burns didn't heal.
Well, head out. We are going to try. I'll need some fresh water.
The next time I'm caught outside with a fire-breathing lizard, I'm jumping in the nearest moat.
I wouldn't. One snort and the dragon can turn a moat into a steaming cauldron. I've seen people boiled alive.
Then there's no place to escape. The dragon casts his shadow everywhere.
We have our castle still.
That's where Gretel was.
She's in her room.
I say it's the storyteller's job to keep his characters alive.
And he can't do it.
What bothers me is Philip. I couldn't even bury him.
Where is he?
The dragon. The body was incinerated. Then it attacked the castle.
What is this thing?
Your Majesty, my sister.
Yes, I'm coming.
William,
Your Majesty,
let me see your hand.
my hand. My hand is fine.
All the same, I should like to see it. Thank you.
His hand?
Checking for injury.
Shall I begin supper, Your Majesty?
Yes.
Shall I use the firewood? It's the last of it.
Yes, she's fine.
What happens now?
Now we slay the dragon, replant the forest, and eventually have firewood again.
And how will you slay the dragon?
With something more powerful than the dragon.
I had a very wicked stepmother once, if you recall the story. The two stepsisters who compensated for their stifling mediocrity by also being very wicked. I accused my stepmother of many things: maliciousness, vanity, nepotism, falsehood, but never once will I accuse her of stupidity. Her daughters were wicked and stupid rogues. They hacked off their toes to get a slipper to fit. Not so my stepmother. She was an intelligent beast. Intelligence and perversity melded in sinister alliance, and that is supremely dangerous. My stepmother's tortures were well planned. She became a student of my treatment of her. Her cunning kept me in cinders.
You're telling me not to underestimate the enemy.
That dragon could have snatched any one of you out there, or all of you, but it refrained. It turned to the castle as if it knows that this is the last citadel, and it wants to toy with us for a while before it dines. A huge reptilian cat versus a pasty mouse. It cremated Philip and scorched Gretel. It's malicious, a beast with intelligence.
Your stepmother, though, eventually received her dessert.
Feeble comfort that.
Why?
When I arose, the phoenix from the cinders of my heart, I did so because of a miracle wrought on my behalf.
Magic. And magic is what gives me hope.
There's no good magic anymore.
But Cinderella, you are living proof.
I am proof of what once was, not of what is. Once upon a time, there were miracles. But miracles of the type we need don't exist anymore. Look at Snow White. A dead husband, a cracked brain. Where's her miracle? Look at Gretel. Look at me.
I'm sure the storyteller has a plan.
Assuming a storyteller exists.
In a world without magic, how does our story end?
A world without good people. I'm no seer, but I predict that the dragon will win this siege. I see the stones of this castle scattered, not one stone left upon another. A habitation of dragons, as Snow said. The countryside strewn with the dregs of our existence. Broken lances, tattered peninsula, a smouldering tapestry, a twisted tiara. It's inevitable. In a few pages, the dragon will write the final chapter on each of us.
You sound as if you want the dragon to win.
Maybe I do.
Another vigil?
Strange storm tonight.
Everything but rain.
And the way it howls, it's like a hungry animal.
It's late, Briar. Will you try to get some sleep?
Dear, you're 57 years old. A young man like you needs his rest. And you get to be my age.
Briar.
The ripe old age of 155. Sleep is an occasional visitor who never really gets comfortable for fear of wearing out his welcome. In other words, I can't. I try, but I can't.
A sure cure for insomnia, they say, is to get some sleep.
Ethan, I'm serious. It's been about 3 weeks, perhaps 20 pages.
Hard to believe this is my Briar Rose. A study in sleep deprivation. Could this heavy-lidded insomniac be the original Sleeping Beauty?
Which part of my nom de plume gives rise to doubt? Sleeping or beauty?
You are the loveliest 155-year-old woman in the world.
It's my husband what keeps me going.
And my bride is as beautiful today as when I climbed that crenellated turret and found her in dreamless repose.
Your crenellated turret was an attic, dear.
An attic in a turret. Besides, the sleeping part strikes me as ironic.
I did sleep 100 years straight.
True. That should be enough for anyone.
And now it's as if I'm under a different kind of spell.
So this one doesn't last 100 years.
Well, it can't. I have my gallant prince here to save me.
Let's see. The last time, if I remember correctly, I broke the spell like this.
Your Majesty! Here's someone I'd like you to see.
Hedda!
Oh, I hope I'm not interrupting.
Oh, nothing important.
My prince.
I was going through some of the cabinets in the old Ravenscroft room.
At this time of night?
Midnight. That's when I'm at my brightest. A young thing like yourself, you could never know.
My youth is always before me. Funny I don't see it.
This is what I found.
An old crossbow.
I thought it might be a help. With the dragon, you know.
Range of a longbow. Easier to aim. Looks to be in good working order. Thank you, Hedda.
Glad to serve your highness. Good night.
Look, there's an inscription. Crossing the brazen serpent's fiery flight, the broken king alone is fit to fight.
Well, the king, that's you.
The dragon's the serpent. You know, it amazes me that she found this. It's providential, really.
How so?
Complements nicely a project I've been working. Is your hand paining you?
Yes, a little.
Crossing the brazen serpent's fiery flight, the broken king alone is fit to fight.
You're the king, but you're not broken.
Yes, but at the breaking point, this dragon, this brazen serpent.
What I really hate about the dragon is it's changed how we talk.
I've noticed when it's attacking, we talk faster and louder.
That's not what I mean. We used to talk of the garden and sunsets and Camelot. Now it's funerals and weapons and casualties.
We used to talk of life, now it's death
It's a bitter time.
and frightening.
Does the dragon frighten you?
Oh, an old battle-scarred warhorse like me, terrified.
It's no ordinary dragon, is it?
It's the worst I've seen. Look how it's decimated our ranks.
How will it end?
However the storyteller chooses.
Ethan, what if there is no storyteller?
Then how did I ever find you all those years ago? How did I defeat the monster that stood in my way? Why did the brambles part at the touch of my sword? The storyteller was writing a story. Our story.
That was once upon a time, but now?
Now the story continues. The tale continues being spun.
Or spinning out of control.
No. The storyteller still has pen to parchment. There is a plot. What has you bothered?
Gretel.
Gretel.
Her only fault was her concern for her brother, and she's blinded. What kind of a plot is that?
Plots can be complicated things, Brian. We can't expect to understand it all, not while we're living it. I mean, look at this spot, or this spot. If not a structure, you see, like a castle has structure. If you focus on one of these joists, you lose sight of the castle. Or pick a gargoyle out there. Look only at the gargoyle and you would say, what an ugly, what a useless piece of rock. Reintroduce the castle and you see that the gargoyle is part of the structure.
But still ugly.
Careful, your stepbrother was a gargoyle once.
It was his ugly stage.
My point is, Brian, that as inmates of this castle, we move within its structure, never able to see the entirety because we're living it. Think of your spinning wheel, Brian, with its enchanted spindle. You could say, why was that one spinning wheel left? It brought the curse upon you. It made that witch a true prophetess. Yet for all its evil, it served a purpose.
It bridged a 100-year gap between us.
You would have grown old and died before I was even born. Nothing is an accident. Nothing. William, I hope our talking didn't wake you. I forget how sound travels down these halls.
No.
Is something wrong?
Your Majesty, I have a matter of some urgency.
What is it, William?
It started again.
It's what I noticed earlier. What can we do to help?
There was only one person who could help. She's dead.
We must have some recourse.
You have your sword.
No!
Which do you think is more dangerous, Your Majesty? The beast without these walls, or the beast within?
There must be a better way.
We do not kill our house guests.
The Queen is right. We've lived in this castle for 30 years. Haven't killed a guest yet.
Have you a dungeon?
Well, a fine castle this would be without a dungeon.
With a good, solid door. A secure lock.
I suppose the lock works. We haven't had much occasion to use it.
You have now.
No.
Your Majesty, it is imperative that you lock me up.
My dear William, the dungeon is hardly the place.
It's a place for an animal! Look, I currently possess one half-formed claw and the sense to control it. By daybreak, any control I now exhibit would be replaced with an irrational, insatiable appetite for carnage. Have you seen what claw like this fully formed can do to human flesh? Remember that I shall have the strength of 10 men. You will not be able to restrain me.
Perhaps we should show them the dungeon.
Yes. Although I doubt you'll find the dungeon as commodious as the room you now stay in.
We could move a cot down there.
Under the circumstances.
These circumstances! Belle! I need you!
William, this way.
Snow! I think she's asleep.
Oh, Snow, what is she doing?
It's the dragon.
Oh, Snow, come inside, the storm.
He's coming.
Who's coming, Snow?
He's very near. He will bring the white rose.
Oh, that again. I'll see that she gets back to bed safe.
Keep her in bed. She opened every door down the hallway.
Oh, broke up with that funeral the day.
Hedda, what did you mean a moment ago? It's the dragon.
The bewitching. The dragon has magic. We're under a spell.
I hope this stalking about and opening doors is not to become a nightly occurrence.
Yes, I apologize.
I suppose we must make allowances for the occasional character-driven to distraction. As long as she somnambulates with a candle, well, but if she ever starts toting a dagger, I'm leaving.
And where would you go?
Monsieur the Cynic is up.
There's no rest in this castle tonight.
No rest.
Did the Widow White wake you?
I was awake. I was watching the shadows on the wall. And somebody opened my door.
And she opened this door as if she expected someone.
One of her dwarves, no doubt.
Brian, dear.
Ethan! What happened?
Have we any fresh water?
Ella, the water if you don't mind.
Why should I mind? I've been fetching water
Come
most
over
of my
here.
life.
Ethan, what happened?
It scratched me. Quite nearly bit me too before I could get the door shut. Ponderous, creaky old thing.
Thunderous and creaky. Is that you or the door?
It's true. My reflexes aren't what they once were. I made the right decision moving him downstairs.
Who are we talking about?
Stop smiling.
Isn't smiling a medicine?
Smiling, laughter is. Smiling simply opens the wound.
Very well. Stoic it is.
Stoic is fine. Stoic and silent would be even better.
That I don't think I can do.
It's William, isn't it?
Hold this for a while.
It's William's curse back.
I'm surprised to see so many up at the sound.
What with the Widow White and the windstorm? We don't get a wink. Now what's with William?
Snow was up.
Looking for a Prince Charming.
That or Dopian? Would someone please answer me?
Sorry, Ella. Do you have a question?
Who slashed the royal face? Prince William or William the Beast?
By now, I'd say it's 1/3 William and 2/3 Beast. He's locked in the dungeon. I did get that key, didn't I? Oh, yes. Here it is.
It's the old curse. William always said it would come back if Beauty died.
That scullery maid was right about the dragon's magic. It has Snow White under a spell and has brought back William's curse. What next? The Queen falling asleep for 100 years?
Quite the opposite. I haven't been able to sleep for weeks.
Wonderful! A dragon with magic and a twisted sense of humour.
There's no evidence to suggest the dragon can do anything other than breathe fire and fly. Most all dragons do that.
It's no ordinary dragon.
It's true. Ethan, you said yourself it's unlike any other.
So he admits it.
I meant physically.
What does it look like? No one has ever seen it from the castle.
Big as a mountain, quick as the wind, brass scales tight-fitting all over, and so far, impervious to anything we throw at it. There's a huge head with an iron crest, eyes that glow with a fire of their own, and a gaping mouth with 3 rows of jagged teeth. There's wings made of iron mesh, arrows pass right through or fall blunted to the ground. Each foot has 4 razor-sharp talons, so lethal that had it no other mechanism for destruction, they alone would make it a treacherous foe.
And the tail.
What about the tail?
It's how Philip died.
It's a long, twisted tail like a serpent's. The end is a sting, round as my arm and over a cubit in length. The sting is kept sheathed until ready for use. In fact, I'm not aware the tail possessed a sting until yesterday.
You mean Philip?
He was impaled.
In the wound we found a thick, greenish secretion which presumed to be poison.
As if it needed the extra killing power.
And it's smart.
The beast is intelligent.
And it's magical.
Maybe.
How can you doubt it? The assorted maladies we are experiencing are real and they are not mere coincidence.
I did not say that they were.
What then if not the dragon's doing?
All we have seen so far is the unfolding tale of the storyteller.
This again.
Yes, again. It all begins, it all ends with the storyteller.
There is no storyteller. He doesn't exist.
We are all proof to the contrary.
You believe some lordly raconteur has an overarching master plan for us all?
Yes. Don't you believe in plot?
Oh, I believe in plot. Plot against us. But I reject a storyteller. There is no author. And I can prove it.
How?
Like this.
Oh, Cinderella!
Question. Oh. Did the storyteller write that slap? If so, then my boorishness is justified. The storyteller made me do it. If not, then who wrote it? Maybe I'm a free and independent agent, responsible for any action I choose. The latter being the case, I apologize, Your Majesty.
Forgiven, I think.
How about it, Your Majesty? Did the storyteller dictate that your wife be slapped for no reason?
He had a reason, even if you did not.
Oh, if that were the case, I could continue. I could pluck your beard, and that with impunity.
And on the next page we find, the storyteller's purpose was to have you locked in the dungeon, sharing space with William the Beast.
You can't see the next page.
True. Let's say there is no reprisal. Your wanton violence goes unchecked. 5 pages later, or 50 pages, or 500 pages, we find out why my beard was plucked. How the plucking of a beard was an integral part of the master plan.
I can't really believe that. Now here comes Hansel. Did he walk into this room in the middle of the night because some unseen hand wrote instructions for him, of which instructions he is completely unaware? Or does his nocturnal walk demonstrate the free exercise of an autonomous volition?
I think I'll go back to bed.
Before you do, tell us why you came in here.
I was thirsty.
Thank you. No mention of a storyteller's directives.
Well, I think I can answer this one.
Be my guest, my dear.
If you don't mind, I think I'll stay at whatever this is.
Well, I would say that an author, a good author, would always provide his characters with motive. So, of course, Hansel has a reason for being up. But characters who lack motive, who act simply out of the author's need to advance the plot, are lusterless, two-dimensional, and, well, in a word, boring. Our storyteller, being a good author, draws complex, multi-dimensional characters who they live and act in accordance with their own unique personalities. So, my character, well, I will tend to my husband's wound, and you, Ella, will you slap people?
Well spoken, Brian.
It's a fighting theory. But don't forget that in real life, these complex three-dimensional characters are dying. One by one, we are being slashed, skewered, choked, crushed, or in some other equally distasteful manner and being annihilated by a fiery serpent. How many fighters are left? You and Peter the cripple, 1.5.
Don't forget Hans.
Another half. That makes 2. 2 people fighting an unbeatable beast in a castle full of damsels in distress. We're not characters in a plot, we're a plate of hors d'oeuvres.
Maybe it's the storyteller.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe you wrote the story, our story, and gave us all great parts, and then you decided to end it quickly. When I was young, I would get all my little toy soldiers and I would line them up in their battalions, all neat, at attention, and then I would get a stick or a bat, whatever was lying around. It was never important to me how long it took setting them up, because the fun was in watching them fall.
Any ending is going to be arbitrary. Why not end with a scene of wholesale carnage? Kind of a literary joke.
Or maybe he didn't know how to end it. He got writer's block or wrote himself into a corner. I don't know. This is the easy way out.
For him.
Yeah, well, it's so easy for us. Or maybe he stopped caring. Didn't feel like writing anymore.
Just set down his quill and walked away.
Had better things to do. He lost interest.
Her story wasn't that interesting to begin with.
Or maybe he's dead.
Dead. That's even better than non-existent. A dead storyteller. There he is, quill in hand, writing away, and then suddenly he collapses, spilling, smearing the ink. The ink keeps running and running, meandering, meaningless rivulets across the parchment to the edge of the desk, where it drips, spattering down to the floor to form dark, slowly coagulating pools of viscid liquid.
That's a horrid picture.
Composition thus becomes decomposition. We're spilled ink. We're searching for meaning in ink blots.
Some of us still believe in the storyteller. I do. Ethan does. Hans, you do too, don't you?
I don't know why he just took us into the woods and left us now.
Perhaps we're not as abandoned as it seems. I was going to reveal this tomorrow, but now seems like a good time. Behold, proof. The dragon is not the god of this kingdom.
An arrow.
Don't touch. It's an enchanted arrow, designed for a crossbow. I found it in the South Tower along with a book of spells.
You made the enchantment.
It's the spell that enchants, not the wizard. This crimson arrow will defeat any foe. If any part of this arrow touches any part of a living creature, even the slightest brush, death is instant. So even if it passes through the dragon's wings or glances off its breast, the dragon will surely die.
And how do we know it works?
Oh, we just need a volunteer to touch it.
Some things must be received on faith.
You see, he gave us a crossbow and an arrow. The storyteller hasn't forsaken us.
It'll be just like it was, once upon a time. Peter, you'll be back in Neverland fighting the battles you were sure to win. You'll find Wendy again.
And don't forget Tinkerbell.
I have had enough of chasing shadows.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
When's the last time you flew, Peter?
Flying. Man's talking about flying, but I can hardly walk. Look at me! Look at me!
Peter, you will. You will fly again. When this arrow flies, so will you. This story will have a happy ending.
Grow up.
It's late. Good night, everyone.
I do enjoy debating your husband, I noticed. Admit it.
I have some intriguing arguments.
Intriguing, yes, and rudely put.
Sorry about the slap.
It doesn't hurt much.
Well, storm's over, I think. Looks like there's some stars beginning to come out.
It might end up a nice night after all.
He's here. We're going to have to tie her down.
Snow, Philip's not coming.
He's here at the very door.
Well, that's fine. Hans has been watching, haven't you, Hans? So why don't we just go back down the hall and... There's just some wind.
Greetings. Is this the castle of his Lord and Majesty, Lord of Valencia, King Ethan?
It is. Do you seek an audience with the king?
At the moment, I seek nothing more than accommodation for the night.
The castle and its provisions are at your service, Sir Knight, limited as they are.
Thank you, Briar Rose.
I'm more than a little surprised that you know my name.
I have read your story, Your Majesty.
By chance, did my husband send for you?
I am not sent for, but sent.
You speak darkly, Sir Knight. Who is it that sent you?
The Storyteller.
Ask him really, really nicely.
No firewood? Nothing out there but soot. I did find this.
Cold gruel again tonight.
Throw it in the pot. Gruel with twigs is variety at least.
Now, I'd like to give you something different, but I didn't do miracles.
She doesn't do mirrors either. Wasn't she supposed to clean this?
She's doing the work of 20 as it is.
Where is the knight?
In the garden.
Does anyone know why this knight is here?
Right now, he's our guest.
We don't know his name, we don't know where he comes from.
Oh, he rode out of the storm, Peter. What else do we need to know?
How about his name?
Rumpelstiltskin. Let's give him some flax and see what he does.
The knight, whose name I don't know, says the Storyteller sent.
He's in no story I can recall.
Well, perhaps we haven't heard all of the stories.
Perhaps he's a new character. Storyteller can write someone in, can't he? Someone new. Could be the start of a new story.
So the wind blows him in. He says greetings in a heroic tone of voice, and we're ready to canonize him.
He's here to help us, Ella.
We don't know that.
He's a knight. Knights fight dragons.
Has he said why he's here?
No.
Why haven't we asked him?
What are you doing here? It's hardly a proper question from a hostess to her guest.
There's more than one way of asking.
We will ask. Briar, come with me.
We've lost William. The storyteller sent someone else.
He's very pat. She has this all figured out. Why bother with a new character?
Well, maybe he has a new way to fight the dragon.
Oh, I wish he'd shut up. They said you were gone. The dragon. They said... And they made me say goodbye. But I knew you would come back. Our story has a happy ending. I remember the first time we rode into our castle. I could see our reflection in the moat. And the shiny fish swimming around and around. Little golden knights protecting us.
That castle belonged to you and Philip.
I remember the garden we had. We had that tree and those roses and... But this is different.
This garden belongs to King Ethan and Queen Briar, and even it is not what it was, for all gardens change.
I remember the garden. Philip, what do you remember?
I'm not who you think I am, Snow. Philip is now part of another story, which could not begin until this one ended for him. But I will tell you what I remember. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful queen, the fairest in the land. This queen was expecting her first child. One bright winter's day, when the snowflakes were falling as big as feathers, she sat at her casement overlooking her garden. Magic was in the air. All sound was muted. The garden lay in a blanket of dazzling white. Despite the cold, the queen had her window partly open as she was stitching some embroidery and dreamed of her coming child. Lost in her thoughts, she fumbled with her needle and pricked her finger so deeply that the blood came. She dropped her embroidery, and not before 3 drops of blood fell in the snow at the sill. The vivid colour struck her, ebony, blood and snow. The queen forgot about the pain in her finger and said to herself, "What I wouldn't give to have a child, as fair as the snow, rosy as the blood, with hair as black as ebony."
I would name her Snow White.
Yes,
As white as snow.
beauty from pain, rose from briar, ebony, blood and snow.
I can finish the story. The mother died and left her small child, and a woman came to take her place. A wicked woman, a sorceress with an evil mirror.
How evil was the mirror, Snow? Was it evil, or did the mirror simply tell the truth? There are some who cannot abide the truth. In the case of your stepmother, the truth only served to drive her mad.
Sir Knight, what do you think of our October garden?
It is well tended.
It's late in the season, but we still have some bright spots. Echinacea, of course, love this time of year. And the chrysanthemums. I'm rather partial to the nasturtiums. What's your favourite? I think the zinnias were quite nice this year. What they lack in elegance, they make up for in hardiness.
The same could be said for the weeds, dear.
Yes, but the colours. I mean, look at these colours.
My favourite would have to be the roses.
Yes, except it's not the season. Too late for roses.
I see it as a matter of valuation.
What do you mean?
In my autumn garden I was fain to mourn among my scattered roses. Alas, for that last rosebud which uncloses, to autumn's languid sun and rain, when all the world is on the way, which has not felt the sweet constraint of June, nor heard a nightingale in tune. Broad-faced aster by my garden walk, you are but coarse compared with roses. More choice, more dear, that rosebud which uncloses. Faint-scented, pinched upon its stalk, that least and last as cold winds fall. A rose to me, though least and last of all. A rose to me, though at the fall.
You're welcome to them. You can have the roses.
Ask him.
On another matter, Sir Knight, one of more import than our autumn garden. There is a dragon in the region. Some would say a disastrous dragon. Some might even say an invincible dragon. Our own men, most can no longer fight for one reason or another. And it seems to some of us at least that your arrival was happily coincided to help. So, in other words, my question is, why are you here?
I have come to do the work of him that sent me.
The Storyteller's work?
Yes.
So we can count on you to help us to slay this dragon?
I will perform all that is written of me.
And so will I. I will be happy to help you with weapons from our armory if you desire. I've chosen my weapon. It's an enchanted arrow, as you will see.
Your Majesty, have you a man in the dungeon?
The dungeon?
Yes. Is there a man there, held captive?
Not by my choice, you understand. Some rather extreme circumstances dictated
a relocation of sorts.
Please, show me.
This way.
I wonder what these are called.
What was he saying the night?
Oh, he likes the roses.
It's a bad time for roses.
Hedda, what are you planning for dinner?
Apple slices. Apple salad. Nothing to fuel the fire with, so it can't be apple pie.
There's plenty of firewood in this tree.
It's bad luck to cook fruit with wood from its own tree.
Oh, I'd never cut it down. It looks so lovely in the spring.
It tastes so lovely in the fall.
Did you hear him? He said, "My scattered roses."
It's true, there aren't many left.
He spoke like the roses belonged to him.
Love lies bleeding. They're called Love Lies Bleeding.
The bad ones always seem like they're winning at first, and then something bad happens to them. Always. Isn't that right?
Yes, Gretel, whatever you think.
But it's all written down. It's history. Right, Hans?
Right?
But there was Rapunzel's witch. She fell out the tower and broke her neck. And there was Snow White's stepmother. She had to wear red hot iron shoes and dance until she died. There was another one who was put into a barrel of nails and it was dragged by 2 white horses. And there was one more who was put into a cauldron of boiling oil with lots of toads and poisonous snakes.
The one in the barrel of nails, she was the evil maid of the Goose Girl, and the one in the boiling oil, well, she was mother-in-law to the princess with the golden star on her forehead.
Her Majesty knows her ancient history. And then there was our witch, and she was baked in her own oven. So the wicked ones always have something bad happen to them. Hansel?
Gretel, all those stories, they were from a very long time ago.
Rapunzel wasn't that long ago.
Long enough.
No, what happened to Rapunzel? That could still happen to us.
She's blind and she's still wearing rose-coloured glasses.
What a thing to say.
Look, child, what you call the happy ending is really the beginning of these stories. It's really the good guy who looks like he's winning, and then, bang! He gets eaten, and the dragon lives happily ever after.
But Rapunzel,
What is it with you and Rapunzel?
If you would think a little before you ask such calloused
How is
questions.
that callous? She's stuck on Rapunzel.
If you remember, Rapunzel's prince was blind.
but when Rapunzel cried, her tears were like magic.
Gretel, look, forget about it. It's okay. Come on, forget about it.
Where is our guest?
Wants to be left alone down there.
With that,
I have good news for everyone.
We have firewood.
We may soon. I've spoken with the knight, and he is here to slay the dragon.
We've had knights try that before.
Yes, but this knight arrives the same night we discovered the crossbow.
and the crimson gimmick.
The arrow is enchanted.
The arrow is an impotent prop.
I wouldn't call it that.
No. How about the feathered folly?
Ethan, what are you doing?
Cinderella says magic is dead.
Dead for the past 400 pages.
I want a demonstration of disbelief. I want her to take the arrow.
This is lunacy.
Throwing down the gauntlet, are we?
Figuratively.
What does this prove?
What does this prove, Ethan?
Just watch. She won't touch it.
But what if she does? This is foolish. I'll not stay here to be party to this.
Stay, Briar. I want you to see this. I want to prove to you that there is something left to believe.
I already believe.
You're all fools. The only thing you have left to believe in is yourself.
Oh, prove it, Cinderella. Prove that you trust yourself.
Am I supposed to be frightened? You hold the arrow and I quiver. Is that it? Your dragon charm doesn't work on me.
Oh, take it then.
Pathetic symbol of a dusty once upon a time.
Return it to its dusty box where it belongs.
Cinderella, there is nothing enchanted about that arrow. He's clinging to an illusion.
Disillusion me.
Your faith couldn't stand the
one touch. The movement of your hand is the stroke of midnight. The gilt carriage of my belief becomes a common orange gourd again, tangled in tendrils and rotting on the vine. Wake us from our dream, Cinderella. Break the spell. Show us reality.
If you cannot see reality, then nothing that I can do will alter that fact.
Therefore, my subjects, we see the reality of Cinderella's position. The high priestess of unbelief has a firm...
Cinderella, no! Witness the triumph of disbelief. I touch the arrow, I hold it close. I let it scratch my skin. Where is the blast that would extinguish the dragon's fire? Where are the fell forces to crush the enemy? I do believe, your majesty, and here is my creed. The storyteller is dead. The happily ever after tacked onto the end of your tales is a myth, a prosaic platitude employed by a second-rate writer to end a third-rate fable that never made much sense to begin with. I hold the arrow and I say that there's nothing at the end of our story but utter darkness and weeping and the gnashing of teeth. Because the dragon is the storyteller now. With every sulphurous breath he emblazons our demise onto a livid sky. He has scratched our fate into the very stones of this castle. The gory sting of his tail hangs above our hearts like a poisoned pen over paper, ready to descend and punctuate our story one final time. You can choose to believe the storyteller's tale if you want. I believe the dragon's tale. The dragon is the reality. Maybe the magic is dead.
Ebony, and blood, and snow.
Didn't you live too long? I've known lasses to get lost in such hens. I need some more apples. Will you come to the garden with me?
Another dozen trips and I'm done.
Here, Ella, let me get that water for you.
Thanks. This is Hedda's job. William.
Yes?
William. Good morning.
Yes, it is.
But I thought you were
I was.
down in...
I'm out.
And now you're...
Clothed, in my right mind, and eating a hearty if somewhat cold breakfast. And only as hairy as the average man is expected to be.
How?
It was the night. And he's with Peter now.
The night.
Good morrow, Ella. You look as if you'd just seen a ghost.
I think it was William.
Yes, isn't it wonderful?
Was it the night?
He went into the dungeon, and when he came out, William was with him. William, Ella, not the beast.
What did your husband say about it?
I haven't seen the king. No one has since yesterday.
You mean after his challenge?
I mean after the triumph of your disbelief. Well, we won't need the arrow now.
Right, I'm off for my water. Anything you ladies need? Coronets? Tapestries? Glass slippers?
I doubt you could find one to fit now.
Firewood?
Now look. Say, Ella, did I show you my shoulder?
Really, William, I'm sure it's a fine shoulder, but...
Make a fist and hit me right here.
Is this a joke?
No, he had me do the same thing.
Right here, hard as you can.
Careful, she can pack a wallop.
I can take it.
You insist.
Didn't feel a thing. Ella, this whole arm was nothing but a bruise. Insensible beast as I was. Spent the whole day throwing myself against the dungeon door, the walls, everything. But when the night changed me, it took away my bruises too. Good as new. In fact, I used to have a scar back here. Now it's gone. You know, I'd feel better about this fetching the water business if some smart aleck had put that sign up by the well.
You mean the one that says in memory of Jack and Jill?
Yes, exactly.
That's no joke, it's where it happened.
I'll be careful.
No bruises, Ella, what do you think?
I think nothing. I don't know what happens in that dungeon. Nobody does.
It's hard to ignore the change in William.
Maybe his was a temporary relapse.
It's mere coincidence that the knight was present when William came out of it. And the bruises, I mean, how do you explain
Look, I'm not ruling out magic, Your Majesty. But what if our noble knight possesses the same dark magic to a greater degree than the witch who originally cursed Prince William? Mr. Nobility could be a warlock, a powerful one, trying to win our trust before destroying us. You were listening.
Yes, with interest.
Briar Rose says that you tamed the beast.
No, evil domesticated is no cure.
Ah, so it's not tamed.
The curse is eradicated, that is the only cure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ella. What's new?
William's new. Nothing else, apparently.
Nothing? Are you sure?
Well, I might mention a new sense of vindication I feel at seeing you. There's a difference between power and omnipotence.
Oh, come on, Ella. Look at me. What's wrong with this picture?
What's wrong? What's wrong besides the fact that you're a cripple? That you're still a cripple, despite our magician here who obviously cannot quicken lame limbs? And why am I suddenly the centre of your orbit?
She doesn't see it.
No, she doesn't.
I don't see what? Go hobble around Briar.
Ella, you're seeing Peter's mirror image.
What?
Well, think through the looking glass. Left is right and right is left.
You make no sense.
I'll show you. Watch this.
Carefully, you...
He's alright.
The Knight presents the ever popular, new and improved version of Peter Pan. On to new heights! From here to the sky! I'm walking, Ella!
I see.
Soon I'll be flying again! Flying again! Flying again! Oh, there's nothing like it. To feel yourself lighter than air. To be of the earth, but not earthbound. To be not of heaven, but able to touch the very heavens themselves. To swoop, to soar, to see the moon fill half the sky. To breathe the purest of air. To follow a snowflake's path. From the heart of a cloud to the tip of a nose. To mount up with wings of eagle.
Back down to earth and try vertigo just listening.
You just wait, Ella. As soon as I get some pixie dust, you're coming with me.
That's enough of your threats. I, for one, don't believe you were meant to fly.
Well, I, for one, don't believe you were meant to sneer. Where's William? I heard he's back.
At Jack and Jill's memorial.
The memorial. Well, I've got to go and show him. Oh, no, wait.
yourself. You have William back to shaving just his chin, and Peter set to break the law of gravity again.
He's on cloud 9.
He breaks no laws, Ella. None are ascended for him, not even the law of gravity.
What do you mean? Peter and Wendy and those lost boys trampled all over that law in their heyday.
Yet, however high Peter soars, he always returns to earth.
Returns, yes, but not plummets. If I jumped off that turret there, I would find that the law of gravity punishes offenders.
Peter has been spared the punishment. The law of gravity is still effective and still good. Peter has been granted liberty from the law's penalty.
Freedom?
Yes, freedom.
Our good Sir Knight, stringing perils of wisdom, meteoric miracles engendering felicity, and all the while obeying the rules.
Why do you doubt?
What is there to believe?
Believe this!
Oh, haven't we been through this?
Ethan, I looked everywhere.
I've been in the South Tower, correcting my errors, most of which were procedural, and my incantation was mispronounced. Esoteric languages.
Well, they ought to work.
I've never been more convinced of anything in my life. That was William.
Yes, it was.
And Peter.
And Peter too.
How? You brought some powerful magic with you.
All power is given me by the Storyteller.
Then we are much alike. The Storyteller has empowered me to find the crossbow and to prepare the enchanted arrow.
The dragon cares not for talismans and spells. That's not where true magic lies.
You fight the dragon your way, and I mine. After all, we must each do our part, mustn't we?
Your Majesty, do you remember the story of the golden bird?
In which the young prince captures a golden bird and a golden horse and rides off with the beautiful maiden from the golden castle?
Verily.
Yes, I know it well.
Well, you remember then that before the prince could win the princess, he faced an obstacle.
Did he?
He was given a spade and told to dig away an entire mountain, removing it to another location. If he could not complete his task within 8 days, his life would be forfeit. The prince dug, laboured, shoveled for a week, never stopping to rest. But at the end of 7 full days, he hardly made a scratch. The mountain remained in all its stony recalcitrance, and he knew he wouldn't be able to finish it. He sat down, exhausted, resigned to his fate. My life is forfeit, he said. Tomorrow I die. But at the end of the 7th day, a fox appeared. Do you remember what the fox said?
You're telling the story. Continue.
The fox said, although you've done nothing to merit my aid, I will help you. Lie down and go to sleep, and I will move the mountain for you. In the presence of this strange visitor, the prince fell into a deep slumber. When he awoke the next morning, the mountain had vanished.
Yes, that's how I remember it. You know that young prince, by the way, was my great-uncle Charles, cousin to the 6 princes who returned into 6 swans. And the young maiden was my great-aunt Beatrice, who was no longer so beautiful and far from maidenly, but who did send me a very nice knitted scarf last Michaelmas. So, thank you, sir, for the retelling. It's a rather nice slice of family history. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be in the South Tower.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid my husband wasn't listening. You were trying to tell him not to trust in his own strength, that, well, he's like the young prince and you're the mountain-moving fox. Ethan really needs to understand.
The story was for you as well, Brian.
Where do you really get your magic?
The works I do speak for that.
If you were an evil sorcerer, you would lie about it. So how can anyone tell?
The powers of evil know their time is fleeting. They are careful to direct their assaults at the enemy. The dragon, you've noticed, is very selective with its target.
And you think you can slay this dragon?
The Storyteller will accomplish his design.
What design? There's nothing but chaos.
We take a part, set it down, and we wait. We wait for a story to appear on it because we believe the ink will form of its own accord and seep upwards to the paper in the shape of letters, words, coherent sentences, an entire story. How long would we wait?
Forever. Stories aren't written that way.
You, Ella, are a story.
There was a time when I believed in a storyteller. Even at first, when I was sitting in the cinders being mocked by those horrible people I lived with. I believed. My way of coping, I suppose. I figured with a storyteller there had to be a happy ending, sometime, somehow, for me. That was assuming the existence of a storyteller and assuming his benevolence, but it made my predicament bearable, at least, those assumptions. I sat in the ashes and believed. Life was simple then. I never thought anything would actually happen, up until the time my fairy godmother showed up. Pumpkins were just large squash. Mice were pests I set traps for. The rags I wore were just that. Rags. Then she appeared, and everything that had seemed so common changed. The mice, the pumpkin, the rags. The mundane became extraordinary. The quotidian was trumped. I couldn't believe that I was witnessing a miracle. This was real magic on my behalf. To say it was a dream come true is trite and not too accurate even, because I had never dared dream of such things. It was a reality beyond imagination. A reality in which I danced half the night away and captured the heart of a prince. And I truly believed in a storyteller. I was the living, waltzing proof. The storyteller was real. He turned pumpkins into coaches. He shod my feet with crystal. He turned my morning into dancing. Nothing was impossible. And then, the happy ending. The storybook marriage, the evil was punished, and we lived happily ever after. Until the dragon came. The problem is, the after ever after. After ever after, there's a dragon. Stephen was one of the first to fight it. They tell me he fought bravely to the very end. They tell me that even after he fell, a broken king, mangled he was, but still able to draw his bow in a futile attempt to protect our castle. And then he lay there, his arrows spent, his lifeblood draining, hurling curses at the dragon when there was nothing else left to hurl. And today, I am a widow because of the creation of your storyteller. Every day I wish I had been left in the ashes. The rags of that old day were a much more pleasant gown than the finely spun sorrow I wear now. But we can't go back, can we? Once written, it can't be erased.
The story will stand as written, Ella. The ever after you speak of, it isn't past. It is future.
When the beast captured Beauty, she was picking a rose. They were forbidden
help me pick the apples, not the roses.
I picked an apple once too. It was poisoned.
These are healthy. Never seen such. Healthy, juicy red apples.
My stepmother gave it to me. I didn't recognise her. I would have been more careful, but I didn't recognise her.
Would you recognise her now? I wonder if you saw her.
I don't know. The dwarves said to beware. They told me not to take anything, but I didn't listen to them.
Well, you can't know until you try.
I think that sometimes, after someone eats a poison apple, some of the poison stays inside your body. Sometimes I can feel it in me. Everything I touch or see or think has poison in it. Because there's poison in me. I ate the apple, and now I'm poisoned. I'm becoming like my stepmother.
What nonsense! Your stepmother was a witch. Stand up. Oh, come on. I'm not going to make you work. I have all I need now. To show you how silly this all is, I want you to eat this apple. Go on, take it.
They said don't eat it. Don't even touch it.
Who are they? It's a good apple. It's not bad.
You don't know what an awful thing it was.
Face your fear. Put it behind you forever.
I can't.
Would I lie to you, Snow White? Look, I'll take a bite first. Then you take a bite. There. See? Take a big bite.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of us all? Don't answer that, or withdraw the question. The hair, the eyes, the skin. Feel like the ugly duckling. Except the ugly duckling had some hope of change. You really want to be a useful mirror? Show me tomorrow. Show me 20 pages ahead. Or at least the next chapter. Oh, must I rhyme? Mirror, mirror on the wall, show the future of us all. Even better, show me the past. Because I'm beginning to forget.
What you ask is not impossible. Most mirrors show the man, some show the walls, others the window.
Who's that? Where are you?
I thought you knew. You were talking straight to me.
Fairy Godmother!
Hello, Ella.
But why are you in there? Can't you come out?
No, Ella, this visit is to be brief.
Oh, Fairy Godmother, you must help us. There's a dragon, the worst anyone has ever seen, and it's killing everyone and no one can stop it.
Ella, I know about the dragon.
And you must help us. You have to. You're the only one who can. Everyone here is talking about magic knights and crossbows.
You want me to do what? Wave my wand to make it all better?
Well, yes. Like you did for me.
Now, what did I ever do for you, Cinderella?
How can you ask that? You took me out of the ashes and set me in a palace.
Just like that? No, I changed your clothes. I provided your transportation. You could have taken those things and gone anywhere. Or nowhere. You had to meet the prince on your own. I wasn't there in the palace to make instructions.
I don't understand what that has to do.
I encouraged you, Ella. I pointed you a certain direction. It was up to you to obey the instructions. You still had to believe. And really, it was not I that set you free.
What then?
The love of a prince. Without that love, you would have landed right back in those filthy rags. It was your prince who sought you out. It was the power of his love that gave you a new home. I was just a messenger.
A messenger from who? From Stephen?
From the Storyteller, Ella.
The Storyteller? Is he real?
Dear Ella, I want you to remember the story of Briar Rose.
Oh, I remember.
Hers is a story of life and death, of dragons and roses. And this is the lesson of the Sleeping Beauty. On our birthday, we receive many gifts, but we also receive the curse of death. But it doesn't end there, for we find, through another gift, that death can be softened into sleep.
Wait, Fairy Godmother, don't go! What did you mean about the Storyteller?
He's real, Ella. He's real, and he's closer than you think.
Wait, Fairy Godmother, don't go! Don't leave me! Don't leave me.
Hansel, I don't want to be outside.
Fresh air will do you good.
I want to see the knight.
I don't know why.
I want to ask him something.
Gretel, I want you to sit just here, okay? There we go.
You won't leave me?
Since when have I ever left you? No, look, sorry, Gretel. I'm right here. I'm right beside you, okay? I'm not going anywhere. Doesn't it feel nice out here? Just like those days back home when you used to walk in the woods.
When can we see the night?
Greta, there's some love lies bleeding.
No, Hans, don't go!
Remember, those little flowers we used to find, there's some right here.
Hansel, where are you?
Gretel, I'm right here, okay? Remember, the little flowers we used to find, the white ones, with the red tassels, we called them love lies. Love lies.
Hansel, what's wrong?
I just want you to stay right there, Gretel, don't move.
I want to go inside. What's wrong?
It's Snow White. I think she's dead.
Time's come.
For what?
Time to turn the page. Whatever happens, Ella, remember what the mirror has said.
I will.
That thing is toying with us!
My sword! Where's my sword?
And you better get your sword. Sir, I think this thing's grown since last time.
My sword! A mattock, a truncheon, a garden rake, anything!
Swords, William, Peter.
Time to put an end to his reign of terror.
Your Majesty! Your Majesty!
You two, stay inside.
No.
And keep away from the windows.
You don't understand. It's Snow White. She's dead.
Brian, you and Ella go and see what's happening.
Where's Hedda?
We have other things to tend to.
Let's get this monster.
This arrow, the arrow of our salvation, carries our curse with it. Everyone, follow me!
Your Majesty, I ask that I be allowed to lead.
May I not lead my own men?
The broken king alone is fit to fight.
I stand aside.
Come on!
Yeah!
Don't worry. It will be over soon. Can you pull in Leviathan with a fish hook? Or tie down his tongue with a rope? Will he keep begging you for mercy? Will he speak to you with gentle words? Can you make a pet of him like a bird? Or put him on a leash for your little girls? Can you fill his head with harpoons or his hide with spears? Any hope of subduing him is false. The mere sight of him is overpowering. Who dares open the doors of his mouth? Wrapped about with fearsome teeth. His back is rows of shields, tightly sealed together. His snorting throws out flashes of light. His eyes are like rays of dawn. Smoke pours from his nostrils, as from a boiling pot. His breath sets coals ablaze. Flames dart from his mouth. Strength resides in his neck. Dismay goes before him. The folds of his flesh are firm and immovable. When he
Rises up! The mighty are terrified. They retreat before his thrashing. The sword that reaches him has no effect, nor does the spear, or the dart, or the javelin. Iron he treats like straw, and bronze like rotten wood. Arrows do not make him flee. He laughs at the rattling of the lance. Nothing on earth is his equal. A creature without fear. He looks down on all that are haughty. He is king over all that are proud. If you lay a hand on him, you will remember the struggle and never do it again. You see? A short fight.
Snow White is dead.
You'd think by now she'd learn to leave the fruit alone.
What was that shriek we heard?
A victory cry.
Whose victory?
Mine.
Hedda, where
house. No needed you today. And where were you? I was there. I saw her bite the apple. I saw her eyes, hesitant at first, and then longing, and then bewildered and frenzied, and finally, silently staring and misting over from the inside. Where were you? What have you done? What are you? What I am is the new queen of this castle. As for what I've done, you will soon see. For now, I've sent the dragon to its lair. You have no power over the dragon. You little fool. Look around you. Who summoned William's beast? Who hobbled Peter? Who keeps Gretel blind? And you, awake. If you are responsible for all that and more, for I have been the one to conjure the dragon for every attack. From Stephen and Ella's castle to this crumbling edifice. You killed Stephen. It was nothing personal. You and I, Ella, are much alike. Except while you plied your broom in dusty corners, I rode mine in wild skies with the dragon. My husband and the knight will defeat you. Your husband is a blind leader of the blind. And as for the gallant knight, behold.
Make room!
What happened?
Right here!
Where's Ethan? What is it? There lived a very foolish king. Where is Ethan?
I'm here.
One day, the foolish king met a very old, very wise dragon. What happened? They fought, and the dragon won. Can't we do something?
He's dead, Ella.
The dragon banished the foolish king and took away his crown. How is he dead? And the followers of the dragon lived happily ever after. I don't understand! He came to help us! How did the
Your
dragon—
Majesty! It wasn't the dragon!
It was dark. I stumbled. It was almost as if he deliberately went in front of the arrow. Brian, would you listen to me? Oh, I can't believe this.
Just when I was starting to believe. Fools! Fools to think that your crossbow could make a difference. Fools to think that anyone could defeat my dragon.
Your dragon?
Yes, mine. Heads of the scullion. Heads of the despised. Hedda has a dragon at her disposal. Nothing on earth is my equal. I am king over all that are proud.
Ah! She's a witch!
Yes! And from now on, we will treat the witch differently.
How many of us are there?
Your wife locked in the dungeon, Hansel in the tower, Gretel, I don't know where Gretel is, me, and you.
William and Peter?
And no beautiful princess to break your spell.
I'll never know how sorry I am.
I don't know. Frogs may understand more than you think.
I can't be so wrong. About the arrow, about Hedda.
About the knight.
About the knife. Ella.
Look, what do you want me to say? That his magic couldn't have been too strong to succumb to a crossbow? That
Shooting straight is commendable, regardless of what one hits. But this is what happens in a story with no author.
I met a dragon once, when I was a young man. It was so small, the size of a serpent. I had my sword, but I let it go. It was so small as to be insignificant. I laughed at it. I laughed. It grew.
Come along, you little kraut, and stop stumbling. Oh. And if it isn't Ethan, the deposed, and ashy Pattle, up to her elbows in grime. He never looked more at home. What is this?
It's not coming.
You're not scrubbing. I want those bloodstains gone. One would think you've never scrubbed a floor before. You bow before your new monarch. Bow. Kneel. There. You may kiss my hand. Tomorrow we'll try the grovel. Did you finish what I sent you out to do?
Yes, buddy.
Buried. Dead and buried. The storyteller's own hand-picked warrior, the saviour of the castle, entombed. The knight underground, dirt filling his mouth and settling into his pores. Tell me, did you cover his face first or last?
I have another one to take care of.
Snow White? Leave her for tomorrow. She's not following anyone, is she? No. I have another job for you. Not nearly as grisly as grave digging. Take the girl outside and tie her to something sturdy, so that when the dragon comes, you can have a treat. A dainty morsel to sweeten his palate. I think she'll taste just as good blind.
No, I won't do it.
And do you think you're still king of this pigeon roost? Who are you to tell me what you will and will not do?
I can't.
You will do exactly as I say. The dragon demands it, and you would do well to appease him.
Then let him take me!
No, Gretel is his. See? She bears his mark. Or, there's the former queen. How easy it would be to tie a noose around her pretty little neck and leave her outside for the dragon. Which is it? Gretel or Briar Rose? One more thing. Dump them in the moat on your way out. I do loathe frogs. How about I tell a story? I'm the one writing it now. Once upon a time, there were 3 sisters who lived in a common. One day, they kissed their family of witches goodbye and set off to seek their fortunes in the world. The eldest married a widower king, becoming a gracious and beautiful queen. She also inherited a stepdaughter, a wretched, anemic brat named Snow White. You know what came of that. The wicked stepdaughter conspired with a horde of malicious dwarves to usurp the throne. As a result of their collusion, the queen was most unfairly punished for simply trying to safeguard her rightful place in the kingdom. She did make the mistake of looking into the mirror too long and too often. Thus, the eldest sister perished. The middle sister also married into a rich home, and she too inherited a stepdaughter. A good-for-nothing coquette
named Ella, to whom she gave the affectionate eponym Cinderella, little one of ashes. You know what came of that better than I. The wicked stepdaughter flouted her authority, disobeyed a direct command, and manipulated the magic arts in order to go a-flirting. In the end, the good wife and mother saw her character impugned. She was hideously tortured for no better reason than that she tried to maintain order in her household and provide for her daughters. She did make one mistake. She underestimated the love of a prince and the size of her daughter's feet. Thus, the middle sister also perished. And so, the youngest saw what happened to her two eldest sisters, and she got wise. She said, both my sisters went straight to the top and then fell, or were rather pulled down by avaricious hussies like yourself. I will do differently, said the youngest. I will start at the bottom and await my chance to rise. I will be the Cinderella, the ashy pattle, the outcast. But, unlike Cinderella, I will wear my crown forever, because I know your tactics, and I have turned them against you, and I have a dragon on my side. Do you hear that? He makes such rousing music. As the new storyteller, I suppose I have the task of writing an ending to your stories. Williams and Peters are done, and they were turned into frogs and devoured by the creatures in the moat. Snow White is finished, and she bit the apple and fell down dead. Thus was she repaid for her ill treatment of her stepmother. Gretel is next, and by the sounds of things, she is drawing very near to the end of her story. I'm writing this as I speak it. And the wicked Gretel, who had once pushed a defenceless old lady into an oven and roasted her to death, who was my second cousin, by the way, lived a miserable, eyeless creature until the dragon who had blinded her finally consumed her. Or should I say, burnt her to a cinder? We'll have a new Cinderella now, won't we? Time for editorial modifications later. I think it's found her.
I can't just stand here.
Your Majesty, don't, it's suicide.
Well, so we're staying here.
Don't worry, Ashley Patton. He's doing exactly as I planned. You see, I'm ending his story too. I prefer a few useful characters, so I'm writing out King Ethan. He was a waste of ink.
You're not writing a story. You're writing a chapter. A sentence, a fragment, less than that. Maybe you're writing nothing at all. You're just scribbling.
I tolerate your insouciance because you are valuable to me as a charwoman, and because you amuse me.
Or perhaps you tolerate me because you have no real power over me.
You dustpan drudge! Do you hear that? That is power. That is my power.
But you do not have the power of the storyteller.
You don't believe in the storyteller.
I was wrong. And you are wrong to think you can usurp his position. To think that I ever unwittingly took your side. The storyteller is the only one who can structure a plot and create a character from beginning to end. He is the source of creativity.
What was that? No, this is my story. I have earned it. No. No!
Ella! Gretel! You're safe.
I'll teach Ethan to meddle in my affairs.
It wasn't King Ethan. It was the knight.
You lie.
He made me see, Ella. He made me see. I knew his story wasn't over. And He fought the dragon.
No! The knight is dead!
How then is she able to see?
It is a trick, and she is a liar.
How is it the guilty always see in others their own sins?
You'll pay, Ethan! You and Briar will suffer for interfering in my plans.
Your threats lack a certain bite, Heather. Dragon's teeth, freshly plucked. Your dragon is dead and your power is broken. Wait.
Fools! You believe that my power derived from the dragon? How feeble is your knowledge of my ways?
What do you mean? Now that your fire-breathing pet is dead, we have nothing to fear from the toothless taunts of a simple scullery maid.
Silence! Allow me the indulgence of explaining to you the nature of true power before introducing you to the once-in-a-lifetime experience of annihilation. You see, the dragon had strength, brute force. That was its power. But it took its orders from me. I had authority over it. That is real power, and my power is not dead.
What would you know about real power?
You disappoint me, Ethan. Erstwhile king of this dominion, for one of royal birth, your understanding of power is sorely lacking.
The storyteller is the source of all power.
Your naivety amuses me, for if that is true, then it gives you a dilemma. If the storyteller is the source of all power, then my power is given to me by the storyteller. But you think that my power is evil. Ergo, the storyteller is evil.
That is indeed a mystery.
A mystery of iniquity. And don't you think that the storyteller can be so far ahead of you in his plans that he could be using you to bring about his greater purposes?
I'll show you greater purposes, and I have his former majesty to thank for the dragon's teeth. I can hardly wait to plant them. I'll soon have an army of undead warriors at my bidding. Reap what you sow, Ethan. Reap what you sow. Between these and your adroit use of the crossbow, I could almost think you were working for me.
Hansel!
Gretel!
Look, Hans, I can see!
I put you in the tower!
I was set free.
How?
Leave my brother alone!
Enough! Who set you free?
Let him go.
Briar!
I said let him go.
What is happening?
What has always happened, Hedda? Page after page a tale is being told, and you are not writing it.
You are my subjects! Do not come any further!
We have been set free, and that can only mean one thing.
It means it's time to write your final chapter!
The storyteller alone determines when it is the final chapter.
No, it can't be. I saw you die.
No more death, Hedda. The reign of death is ended. It is finished. All power in heaven and in earth has been given unto me, and I have disarmed all your principalities and powers.
What is to be done with her?
Her day of judgment will come. The storyteller's written that part already. For now she's to be locked in the dungeon for 1,000 pages.
I do believe. Blessed be the name of the storyteller.
Give this to Peter when you see him.
But he's... Yes, I will.
My lord, I must beg your forgiveness. I had thought, all along, that I was the broken king.
And now you are. Briar, tell me how you feel.
I feel sleepy.
See that she's comfortable.
Sir Knight, if only you could have saved Snow White.
Enjoy your rest, Brian.
Ella, you know who I am.
You are the storyteller. But I don't understand about snow.
You will.
The fish in that boat are huge! That, or you make a very small frog.
There you two are. I was expecting you.
Ella, where's the witch?
Locked up for 1,000 pages. Ethan, this is for you.
What's this?
It's pixie dust! It's pixie dust! And it's a perfect day for flying! Come on, William, you're coming with me!
We've got to get dry first.
You too, Ella, but you'll dry soon enough. Come on!
Are you coming?
I was just thinking.
What about?
The storyteller.
He's alive, isn't he?
More than that, William. We've seen him. He's part of our story. He wrote himself in.
Alas, for that last rosebud which encloses. To autumn's languid sun and rain, when all the world is on the way. A rose to me, though least and last of all. A rose to me, though at the fall.